Welcome. So, this is Statistics course, Chapter 1, Getting Started, Section 1.1, What is Statistics? The focus point of this particular section is to identify variables in a statistical study. Variables means things which change. So, you want to identify the appropriate variables in a statistical study. We want to be able to distinguish between quantitative and qualitative variables. Okay, quantitative and qualitative. We want to be able to identify populations and samples. Populations, samples. We want to be able to distinguish between parameters and statistics. Parameters, statistics. Determine the level of measurement, compare descriptive and inferential statistics. Okay, so these are technical terms. By solving problems, you will understand what each term means. Okay, let's start with the introduction. Statistics. Statistics is the study of how to collect, organize, analyze, and interpret numerical information from data. You see, you are a student of statistics. So if you are a nurse or if you are a doctor, if you are a teacher, you are a scientist, you will have at some point, you will have to collect information. That's the data. You will have to collect your data. You will have to organize your data in a way that you can understand things, right? You will need to analyze what your data says, and from the analysis, you will have to interpret. So, all that is statistics. Statistics is the study of how to collect, organize, analyze, and interpret numerical information from data. All right. Now, individuals are people or objects included in the study. Variable is the characteristic of the individual to be measured or observed. Okay, so I repeat, individuals are the people or objects included in the study. A variable is a characteristic of the individual to be measured or observed. For instance, if we want to do a study about the people who have climbed Mount Everest, then the individuals in the study are all the people who have actually made it to the summit. So you want to study people, your individuals are the people. One variable might be the height of such individuals. Okay, so you are studying various individuals. What exactly are you studying about them? You could be studying their height, right? You could be comparing different heights of different people. You could be studying their age or weight, gender, nationality, income, and so on. Such things, such characteristics are called variables. Regardless of the variables we use, we would not include measurements or observations from people who have not climbed the mountain. You see? So we are not looking at all sorts of people. In this particular study, we are only studying people who have climbed Mount Everest. So, what do we mean by study people? Well, we are not writers, we are not novelists, we are not studying their inner workings of their minds. What we are simply doing is looking at their height or their weight or their income. Those variables, those characteristics are called variables. All right. Now, The variables may be quantitative or qualitative. So the characteristics we are looking at, height, age, weight, gender, so on, they could be quantitative or qualitative. What's the difference? A quantitative variable has a value or numerical measurement for which operations such as addition or averaging make sense. A qualitative variable describes an individual by placing the individual into a category or group, such as male or female. So that's the difference. Quantitative means quantity. Quantity is a numerical measurement. You see, numerical measurement, that is, you know to add quantities, you know to average quantities. But quality is things like gender, nationality. You cannot add genders, you cannot average genders. Likewise, you cannot add or average nationality. Those are qualitative. All right. So, what is the purpose of qualitative variable? Well, you will be able to place the individual into a category or a group. Now, population data. What is population data? Data are from every individual of interest. In sample data, data are from only some of the individuals of interest. You see, if I want to study the heights of all the people who have climbed Mount Everest, well, that's a huge population. Okay, so that is the population information. Now, I probably may not be able to catch hold of all the people who have climbed Mount Everest. Some of them are dead even. So, what will I do? I will look at maybe 100 people whom I know to contact, who I can reach out to. 100. Okay, so instead of thousands of people, I'm looking at 100 of those. That is a sample. So I get information from that sample, and that information is called sample data. Sample data, the data are from only some of the individuals of interest. It is important to know whether the data are population data or sample data. Data from a specific population are fixed and complete. Data from a sample may vary from sample to sample and are not complete. So you understand the distinction. Say I want to study heights of all the people who climbed the Mount Everest. So suppose I went through library books and whatnot, and I got information for every single person in that population. Well, then that data is complete. Okay, but if I chose 100 people to look at, then that is one sample. Now, if you choose to study another 100, you will have another sample. So, information or data from a sample may vary, may change from sample to sample. So, the information I get will, of course, be different from the information you get, because of the 100 people I studied were different from the 100 people you studied. So, data from sample to sample will change and are not complete. It's not complete. There are people who are dead we haven't studied, and so on and so forth, right? Now, so information or data from the population is called population parameter. Information from a sample is called sample statistic. Okay, a population parameter is a numerical measure that describes an aspect of a population. So it's numerical measure for the population. Sample statistic is a numerical measure that describes an aspect of a sample. Okay. The first example, let's use basic terminology. The Hawaii Department of Tropical Agriculture is conducting a study of ready to harvest pineapples in an experimental field. The pineapples are the objects. Okay, we are studying pineapples. So, pineapples are the objects. So, they are the individuals of study. If the researchers are interested in the individual weights of pineapples, then the variable is weight. Okay, variable consists of weights. At this point, it is important to specify units of measurement and degrees of accuracy. Units means weight. Are you measuring in kilograms, grams, pounds, ounces, and so on and so forth? Those are units. Degrees of accuracy, that is how much error you allow. Okay, the weights could be measured to the nearest ounce or gram. Weight is quantitative variable because it is a numerical measure. You know to add, average, and so on. That is quantitative. If weights of all the ready to harvest pineapples in the field are included in the data, then you have a population. The average weight of all ready to harvest pineapples in the field is a parameter. So when we are talking about all, it is population, and the average weight is a variable, you see, of that population, so it's a parameter. Now, suppose the researchers want data on taste. A panel of tasters rates the pineapples according to the categories poor, acceptable, and good. Poor, acceptable, and good. Notice these are not numbers. These are characteristics which cannot be added or averaged. All right. So, some of the pineapples are included in, if I'm looking at only some of the pineapples, because I'm not going to taste every single pineapple. If I taste every single pineapple, then I have nothing left to sell, right? So I'm tasting some of the pineapples. So the variable is a taste. It is qualitative or categorical variable because only some of the pineapples in the field are included in the study. We have a sample. The proportion of pineapples in the sample with a taste rating of good is a statistic. So the characteristic information is a statistic. Okay. Now let's come to the next topic in our next video. Until then, bye.